Hi everyone and welcome to the Evolve Summit, especially for my topic, Knowing the Guardians of Your Soul. This is going to be a very interesting lecture today and I'm super excited to teach it and tell you more about it as we go. But before we start, I'd like to introduce myself briefly because as always, it's a little easier to trust someone when you know who they are, where they're coming from, and why they're actually teaching about the topic and why they're so passionate about it. So let's start right away. My name is Isabel Hunt, and I'm known as the Leader's Heart Decoder, which has to do with a gift that I have and that I'm going to talk a little bit more about later on. And I'm also the founder of the ICU movement, C as in Sight, which is focused on shattering cultural barriers and engaging in cultural transformation globally through emotional awareness. But I'm also a speaker. I'm a sociologist, that is my general background, and I'm a certified transformation coach working mostly with very highly sensitive visionaries and world changers, and I'm also an author of the book The Power of Faith-Driven Success. So in general, literally my expertise revolves around navigating your emotional world and the power of intuition and perseverance in today's society. I was asked to join the Evolve Summit to tell you a little bit more about your guardians of your soul. Now, if you have followed my work for a while, you probably know that I use this term quite frequently. But if this is the first time you've heard of me, you're like, what, is that another Marvel movie? Well, honestly, I do love Marvel, and that's probably how I came up with the term as well. And I just love it, so I guess we can just roll with it and just take that. But no, it is not another Marvel movie, which I should suggest at some point. Anyways, but no, we're not talking about a movie, but we are talking about warriors that are inside of you. So throughout this entire summit, you will hear a lot of really amazing content, lots of great information to move your life forward. And so I thought about how I could make this session a little bit different in the way we take in the information, how it can relate more to your heart and your soul. So I have an interesting exercise with you, so I hope you're staying put and you're just rolling with it. Some might think, oh, who knows what that's going to be, but you're in your home, you're just watching this, so you're safe, right? Okay. So, the guardian of your soul are your emotions. If you haven't guessed that yet, now you do know. Those emotions reflect everything that is going on in your life back to you. They literally are your mirrors of your experience in your life, of everything that is happening around you. But unfortunately, many are missing the spiritual piece when it comes to our emotional world and how to navigate the signs and the messages throughout our life. So in this lecture, we will go really deep into the true meaning of our emotions, how we have become, or how we have come to believe the classic understanding of emotions, meaning I'll share with you some of the history and why we are where we're at, how they can be experienced as our guide, and what questions to ask yourself to understand their messages for you. But firstly, I want to share with you what had me become so passionate about this topic. So my entire life, I felt somewhat different. I was born and raised in Germany, and I moved to the US about 11 years ago for good. And when I was 12 years old, I had this really incredible prophetic dream where I watched myself speaking on stage in a different language. Now later on, I realized and I noticed that this different language was American English, and it was never on my radar. However, from that moment forward, I knew that I had to leave my country to do the work that I'm called to do. And now, many years later, I'm actually doing the work that I've seen in that dream during, all those years back. Besides that dream and really having the prophetic ability to take in information, I also felt different because I have a very specific gift that again gave me the name, the Leader's Heart Decoder. That means that I am seeing colors around everything. The medical term of that is synesthesia, where my mirror neurons that help us to sympathize and empathize with other people translate everything that I receive, every vibration, every frequency that I receive into a specific color. So whenever I focus on people, it is not necessarily the physical features that I see or that I notice first, but it is the color that surrounds their heart. There's always one dominant color that you pretty much wear like your clothes, but it changes with your emotional state. It took me quite a few years to understand the meaning behind that, and then it also took me to understand that I am an empath, that I'm very highly sensitive, and then putting one and one together to understand how to use that within my work. So for me to be able to use that, I realized, okay, if the color changes around their heart, the dominant color changes, then there must be something that is related to their emotional state. So something is related to emotions. So I got really into it, and after lots of studying and using my degree in sociology and psychology, I dug deep into the meaning of emotions and how we can shatter cultural barriers in the way we shift communicating with each other, in the way we shift how we can be with each other. So today, actually, part of my work is offering intuitive color readings, how I call them, where I am able, with permission, to tune more into the person and to really take a look behind the curtain to understand what that dominant message means for you in that very moment, what the message is from your soul. And usually I create a very specific, individualized prayer with that. So it's an incredible gift to have, and a gift that got me on my path to where I'm at today, and why I'm so passionate about the work that I do, and how I can really see other people understanding or connecting with other people differently through emotional awareness. Not necessarily everyone has the gift that I have, but we all can learn about emotional awareness. So when it comes to our emotions, we pretty much have been taught that there are a few fundamental emotions we all experience in a very similar way, and then there are those subgroups to those main emotions, which is not wrong, but we have learned them to be set in stone. This is how it's supposed to go. This is how we are supposed to experience the world. And if we don't, we're not part of the norm, which is kind of sad. So we have learned that we can identify specific emotions through a whole process that happens within our physical body. And the problem is that no matter what we experience in life, even if the situation is very similar, we never have the same experience the same way. It's like someone sees the color beige as beige and someone says, no, that's brown. It's the same color, but we experience it and recognize it in different ways. We are all on our very own soul's journey, and therefore how we relate to all that is happening around us really depends on our evolvement on our own path, how we evolve, where we're at, what the lessons are that we have to learn, and where the healing needs to take place within our body. So each one of us has a different experience with that. Now, that is not to say that there aren't any similarities and that there is not a framework that it supports us in giving meaning to our emotions. And within each society, even our world society, we often have, there is often this necessity to have a common understanding, like language, to communicate with each other. Since our emotions are our native language, we've defined their meaning just like a spoken language, just like English or German, for example. However, our emotions are rather very individualized communication tools that allow us to become more curious about each other. Emotions are meant to evoke curiosity, by asking questions, by us asking questions, to dig deeper, to create self-awareness. So emotions are an invitation to life. So according to old, very classical views of emotions, we have created a language that is based on common agreements. One person said something, this is how it goes, the next one agreed to it, and suddenly we have a truth that everyone else is supposed to follow. That means that everything, when it comes to emotions, is pretty much set in stone. And with everything you see around you, if one no longer agrees to set rules or conforms to the meaning of emotions, well, they easily become a threat to society, and they're no longer part of the norm. They're different, not one of us, how we experience the world. And we've created a stereotype or stereotypes of what emotions are and how to express them or even how to communicate with them. We're literally buying into an accepted cultural construct which we continue to learn and teach to our children. So taking a look at the history, we can say that emotions have been used to manipulate people for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Our ego literally rejoices in the cultural understanding that we are driven by our emotions, that our emotions are what runs our lives. Because within that context, essentially it means that we're the victim of our circumstances, and victims can't and won't see their true inner divine power. Therefore, they are very easy to be controlled. So a lack of self-awareness increases your willingness to be controlled and manipulated, or not actually, well, it's a subconscious willingness, I think. We subconsciously buy into it. So for thousands of years, even the church as an institution used emotional manipulation to control their followers, and the same happens in politics, in economics, but let's stick with church because this is part of the emotional development or the development around emotions. In many cases, the church still uses emotional manipulation, maybe without knowing it, because it's something that is so ingrained in us. And this was also the reason why Martin Luther actually stepped away from the Catholic Church and created the Lutheran Church, which in the end ended up to be just like the Catholic Church, but anyways, and why René Descartes was prohibited to research spiritual understanding of emotions in the 17th century. And so the generalization of emotions supported those in control or those within authoritarian power. That's something to be noticed. The misuse and the misunderstanding of our emotions have led us to a lot of trauma over many, many generations. Trauma that alters our DNA, that alters and determines our beliefs and our thought patterns. Fortunately, people are now awakening all over this world and are ready to heal. Thank you, God. However, we can't heal if we don't recreate our relationship to our emotions, because otherwise we continue to sabotage ourselves on a daily basis. And we continue to buy into the thought process and the belief of being separated with and from the divine. The new paradigm of emotions allows us to take full responsibility when it comes to creating and experiencing the physical world that we live in. And an incredible researcher, her name is Lisa Feldman Barrett, summarized this paradigm as followed, and I'm just going to quote, "In every waking moment, your brain uses past experiences organized as concepts to guide your actions and give your sensations meaning. When the concepts involved are emotion concepts, your brain constructs instances of emotions. That means that your personal, very individualized journey of life determines how you feel and experience your emotions. There is no one size fits all. But people who are in charge of their emotional world and know how to communicate with their guardians of their soul and understand their needs reflected by their emotions can't be controlled nor manipulated easily. And again, like I said before, that is a threat to people who are run by their ego. So they will do whatever it takes to keep the power struggle very well and alive. So that is the history part of why we're at where we're at. It pretty much is based on power struggle using the emotional concept to continue to divide. So I want to bring in the spiritual aspect of it so that we can understand that our emotions can actually unite us. So I want to introduce you to some of the emotions personally today. We're going to do a little envision exercise where I help you to understand the full capacity of your guardians. So I'd like for you to just sit somewhere where you can comfortably rest, somewhere, even if you want to lay down somewhere, if you can, just really take the moment where you can just relax, take a couple deep breaths, and close your eyes. And once you've done that, once you've found a place to sit, if it takes a little longer, just hit pause for a second. But once you have your place, I want you to close your eyes and I want you to envision this, your most favorite, most beautiful, fantastic place that you've ever been to, like your most favorite place. It's breathtakingly beautiful. It's that amazing place, right? So for me, it would be the mountains. I love the mountains. So I would be sitting on top of mountains and I just oversee the entire world. That would be my absolute preferred place. So this stunning beauty where you are right now, where you can feel rested and at ease and just really peaceful and free, that is the place of all that is. This is the place of spirit, the divine power that we separated ourselves from, our ego. I hope that makes sense. It surrounds us, and everything that is within sight of you is part of that spirit world. You're sitting right in it. You're actually part of it, but the understanding, the really embodiment of oneness is not quite there for us yet. And so our physical body is the illusion of separation from the divine. So you're sitting in this really beautiful place, and now I want you to envision a bubble around you. A bubble that is still part of the overall picture of the spirit, connected to spirit, but almost like a buffer between you and spirit. It is your soul that surrounds you. You are within that space. And then I want you to envision incredible warriors in front of you. If you, like, for the sense of simplicity, just envision warriors, incredible, like warrior figures, people maybe even like have the sword and the shield and just ready to fight for you. I want you to envision them. And they're standing in front of a gate that is connected to your soul, to that bubble around you, and your soul is connected to spirit. And those are your guardians of your soul. Those are your emotions. Those warriors are your emotions. I want you to continue keeping your eyes closed, because now I'm not saying channeling because that's not the word, but I am going to be the messenger of your emotions. So I'm going to introduce you to your emotions. They are speaking now to you. Just roll with it. It's a great role play. Just roll with it. Just keep your eyes closed. See those warriors in front of you, and they are going to step out. One of them is going to step out right now, and he has this message for you. Ready? Okay. We totally understand your very fast-paced lifestyle. Everything needs to happen right now at this very moment. But let us tell you this. We've been around for hundreds of thousands of years, and we know a thing or two about the world. We watch you disengage and find blame in your circumstances. And for thousands of years, you've squeezed us into a box and put a label on us that didn't even make any sense. It made us feel abandoned and grossly misunderstood. We would like to invite you to take some time to acknowledge us for who we are. Learn to name us and how and where to show up in your body, and ask us questions. Most of the time, we are just trying to support you on your path, helping you to stay true to yourself, to respect your boundaries with yourself and others. And in some cases, we let you know that you are doing great and that you're ready to take that next step. Other times, at least one of us, mostly grief or sadness, is supporting you in letting go of something that no longer serves you, or when you need to mourn a loss. It is not always easy, but we truly are your support system. Unfortunately, if you let us pass or ignore us without any acknowledgement, then you'll often become overwhelmed and frustrated. At that point, you'll have an even more difficult time hearing your soul's whisper to guide you on your journey. And as well us, your emotions. The more you ignore us, the louder we often have to get for you to hear us before you run into just another or even bigger wall. We promise to be your allies, not your enemies. Now, I hope you received that message from the group of emotions that are in front of you, the warriors that are in front of you. Now you see them stepping back into the lineup of the group. And I want you to keep your eyes closed and just to continue being in that setting, almost like a movie that you're watching. And now I want you to invite fear to come forth. You see this beautiful warrior, powerful, strong, well, maybe a little intimidating, but yet very gentle warrior in front of you. Now I want you to ask, or just set the intention toward fear to help you understand its message. Ask them the question, what do you have for me? What is the message that you have for me? And fear will respond, or is responding this to you. My dearest, yes, I'm fear, and sometimes I'm not the most comfortable to be with. Sometimes I can drive you crazy. I know I can be intimidating. However, I am not your enemy either. I am here to be your cheerleader at times. When your soul knows that you are ready to step outside of your comfort zone, when that next step is right in front of you and you're ready to go there. I am cheering you on to trust your own abilities, to trust the divine power to lead you and to guide you, to trust that you are provided for, that you have everything you need to step onto that next path, onto that next part of your path. And sometimes I come forth when your gut feeling understands that there's some danger going on. I'm telling you, hey, go, get out. This is not for you. I can be very clear and I can be very loud because often you have already ignored other signs from all my colleagues here. So I have to become a little louder. But know that I'm your friend. Next time you experience me, ask me those questions. What am I avoiding? Where am I not stepping outside of my comfort zone? Where am I not trusting myself or the divine? And once I've given you those answers, you have the power to choose to set very clear intentions in how you choose and want to move forward in your life. I'm not your enemy. I'm your ally as well. Now I want you to see them step back, or see fear stepping back in with the entire group. I want you to invite out sadness, for example. Have sadness speak to you. This beautiful, gracious, very graceful warrior energy that's coming in front of you. Let them speak to you as well. My dearest, I am sadness, and I know, again, just like fear, often it is not easy to deal with me. It's not easy to be with me, but that is what is required of you. I show up when you need to just take a step back and rest in the knowing that everything is working for your greater good. I'm here to signaling to you that there's something that you need to let go of, if it's a person or a project that you've worked on, or anything else in your life that you're attached to that you need to let go of because it's no longer serving you. I am here to give you the space to just be in the moment. I promise I will not stay around forever as long as you choose to just be with me and to experience me as a flow through you. Emotions, energy in motion, and so am I, always in motion. Learn how to be with me and you will see the signs. And trust in the process. Trust that what I'm guiding you to move forward to is exactly what needs to happen in your life. Listen to me. Again, I am not your enemy, I am your ally as well, even if I don't feel the most pleasant at times. Now, I want you to envision seeing sadness step back into their place. I want you to take a look at all of them. There are so many, from happiness to joy to anger even. Anxiety, depression, they're all right there, but each one of them have a very distinct message for you. So what I want you to do is still keep your eyes closed and look at them and say thank you. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for being my guardians. Thank you for always having a very clear message for me. Thank you for being my friend. Thank you for allowing me to create a higher level of awareness about myself, about my beliefs, about my thought process, and helping me to be able to learn to listen more to my soul and therefore feel more connected to the overall divine spirit. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for being there for me when I need you the most. And with that sense of gratitude and acknowledgement, I want you to leave your place that we just envisioned and come back into reality. Something that I know about our emotions, and I'm giving you this advice from my heart. Stop worrying about the future or even regretting the past, because nothing matters more than the present moment. Learn to be present and listen to your emotions and their messages very, very closely. Practice it every single day. The more knowledge you gain, the more reflective you become and the less reactive you are, which leads again to a more fulfilling life. That doesn't mean that you won't experience any of those emotions anymore, but you experience them with a different sense of urgency, with a different sense of, I'm missing the word, but you have a different relationship. We know that each emotion is on a different vibration. According to Stephen Hawkins, shame and guilt is very low on the emotional level, right? However, when we experience that, we acknowledge that, we can take a look, and once we shift the relationship to that emotion, our vibration instantly rises. Happiness is not an emotion in and of itself. Happiness is acknowledging that all of those emotions are part of our journey and really just trying to support us, trying to help us to understand life and to walk our path. So I know this was a bit of a different way in looking at the way of emotions, but if you like that, and I really hope you did and you resonate with it, then I want to invite you to learn more. For one, sign up for the free gift. It's called The Emotions Guide to Success, which is a short introduction to how I teach emotions in general, and it gives you some example questions. It's a quick read, something that you can implement every single day. And if you really resonate with that, and if you say, okay, this really speaks to me, this is how I want to resonate with my emotions, I want to invite you to sign up for my course, The Empowered Warrior, because the guardians of your soul are your warriors. And so The Empowered Warrior, you become empowered by understanding your guardians. This course helps you to navigate your emotional world and to really have a guideline where we talk through some of the main emotions that we know, and then helping us to really individualize them for us, asking the questions for ourselves, even comes with the cheat sheet. If you're up for it, I really hope you are, but if you are, then please accept this. I have a discount code, which is TEW50 for 50% off. This work is not so much about convincing you to buy into it, but what it is for me about is really creating the connection between people, to understand the power of connection that we can experience together. And if the course is not for you, that's perfectly fine too. I'm not attached to that at all, but if that is not for you, I want to invite you to follow me through my website, isabelhunt.com, isabelhundt.com, where you can find more information about me, where you can connect with me on social media, where you can learn about my book, The Power of Faith-Driven Success, but also learn how you can work with me, for example, by releasing trapped emotions. Or if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. My email is isabel@faithdrivensuccess.com, and I'd be more than happy to respond and answer any questions that you have outside of this course. But of course, if you're interested in the course, theempoweredwarrior.com, theempoweredwarrior.com, with the coupon code TEW50 to get 50% off on the course, which is really a powerful tool to have in your life that you can implement not just for you, but also if you have children, with your spouse, with your friends. And you'll see the ripple effect happening. And when we start a ripple and it continues, we will see the transformation of a culture, transformation of a social construct that we have created. So again, thank you so much for allowing me to share those information with you. I really hope you got lots out of it and that it did resonate with you. I hope and think, and I know, I don't just hope, I know that all the other speakers are going to be incredible and even more information, so don't miss out on that. And otherwise, I'm looking forward to connecting with you through social media, through my website, through the course. Invite you to, and enjoy the rest of your day and have a fantastic, fantastic day learning more about who you are and how to connect with yourself. Thank you.